All right, stick with us.
Yeah.
I took your line.
You did the thing. Thanks, Dan.
I gotta pee so bad. Oh my god.
Yeah, same.
Chris is back. I came back and you were both gone. I was like, oh no, did they get raptured or something?
We all went to do the same thing you were doing.
Because this beer is very yellow and it goes through you. It's why it's yellow.
It does.
Guten Abend und herzlich willkommen nach episode 117 of the GameBrew podcast, the bi-weekly video game podcast where we sip delicious beers, discuss video games, and oh my gosh, more German. Und ich liebe...
Und?
Oh, what?
Ich bin ein Berliner?
Very good. I also like that you're a donut. I am your host.
Donne está la biblioteca.
I am your host, Ian Sloan Richard, and I am joined by Dan Bunker Jonesy Rotz.
Is that from Call of Duty?
And Chris Peely writes.
Hi.
They're Fortnite characters.
I was going to say, it's like, that sounds familiar.
This week, on the first half of the show, we'll be talking about some of the great German games we've been playing for the past couple of weeks. And in the second half, we have compulsory amusement lined up. But first, it's time for a beer.
Clink.
Chris, what are we drinking this week?
To celebrate what would have been Oktoberfest if they had it this year, we're drinking German Oktoberfest beers.
Hey! Ziki zaki.
Oi, oi, oi. Prost.
Prost, meine Freunde.
So, Chris, this is what I think of as like your Christmas. You know, like some people buy Christmas decorations all year long just to like put them up in December. And this, I feel like, is when you really come into your own. It's kind of your moment in the year.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm not from Germany, but my family's from there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just a lot of really great things about it that I really enjoy. There was also a lot of things that we like to not talk about, and that's fine too.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, true. It's one of my favorite like non-standard holidays. For sure.
I see.
That I definitely celebrate more than normal.
Like non-standard holidays that you celebrate aside from
Flag Day.
Oktoberfest?
He's really into Flag Day.
I mean, you know, it's a lot of people do like St. Patty's Day, and I participate in St. Patty's Day, but I don't have as much zest for it.
I don't have any zest for St. Patty's Day anymore after that one episode that we did.
Yeah, the zest went down the toilet with the rest.
of my
I'm still pretty zesty about
Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Okay.
To the point that I now have a table that was
That's
used
true,
there,
you do.
Yeah.
which is awesome.
It's an Oktoberfest table, yeah.
Yeah. But actually, so I'm drinking a Fest beer, but it is not an official Oktoberfest beer because it was not made in Munich.
Right.
It was made a couple miles north of Munich. So it's, I think it's pronounced Weihenstephaner.
Hey! Me too!
What?
Hey!
Guys,
So this is technically, well, not technically. They say that it is the oldest brewery in the world since 1040.
That's a pretty early date. In fact, it's so early it sounds
almost
like a
1,000
time
years.
of day.
Yeah, it's almost 1,000 years. That's a long time to make beer. And apparently it's owned by the government of Bavaria.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
And old,
it's a really great beer.
I'm talking old Bavaria.
As usual with a Fest beer, it's super high chuggability.
Yeah, the highest of chuggabilities.
The highest of chuggability. And it's just delicious. It's liquid gold, man.
It really
I love
is.
it.
There's something about, like, it's made...
And it's 6%.
Wow.
Almost.
It's made... Fest beer is made to be drunk quickly, you know? Mm-hmm. It's just made to be like, this is so you can keep having a good time while drinking this beer. One might say it's for festing.
Double festing? Is that when you've got one in each hand?
I mean, have you seen some of those Hofbrau waitresses?
Oh yeah,
that they can stack 20 of them on top of each other.
Yep.
Yeah, and these are not light.
Like that superior upper body strength. Those German ladies
and grip strength. It's impressive.
Well, so tell us. It's chuggable. What else about that beer is delicious?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, just because it's like
it has a great it just has a great malty characteristic. It's super easy to drink. Has a beautiful color.
Oh,
it's
the
just
head on it. It's so fluffy.
It's refreshing.
Too.
Yeah. Head's fluffy. It's just it's a great fest beer. I mean, there's occasionally not my favorite fest beer, but generally I would say that fest beers are one of my Oktoberfest beer time is one of my favorite times just because I don't get to have them all the time.
Right.
It's like the McRib.
Yeah, exactly.
Except it's very satisfying instead of very unsatisfying like a McRib.
he's going out to get a McRib as we speak. Dan, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the same thing, but I think the thing that I like the most is all the things Chris said, but also that there's no sometimes with lighter beers or beers that are made to be drunk fast, they have a weird aftertaste, and fest beer and particularly the Weihenstephaner doesn't really have. There's not a crazy weird it's I don't feel like I drank something weird after I drank it.
It's agreeable to your digestive system.
Yeah, versus an American lager or something like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, where you drink it's I could drink a bunch of them, but they also have this weird taste after a while. And if it warms up, it doesn't taste as good either. I think fest beers and
and there's almost a hint of sweetness, just a hint,
a little bit.
Yeah, and that sweet plus the toasty is kind of that's the thing.
It's sehr gut.
Yeah, that's I guess why it's for me liquid gold.
Liquid
gold.
So, speaking of liquid gold, I'm drinking Founders Oktoberfest, which is a German-style Märzen. Obviously not an official Oktoberfest beer because it was made a few miles away from Munich. But I will say it's very good. The color is much more amber than I'm kind of anticipating from traditional Märzen. But I'll tell you that the flavor is on point. Just like you all were talking about, sort of that snap, like you could almost taste a pretzel. It's got the toasty, very malty. Let me take another sip here.
I think Märzen is a different. There's the fest beer is definitely is that a Märzen or is it's something else entirely?
That's a good Chris question.
Yeah, no, a Märzen is particularly is usually drank at Oktoberfest. I think it's usually a Märzen or a
Dunkel.
Yeah, Dunkels are usually a lot
darker and heavier.
Anyway, this particular Märzen is delicious. So, props to Founders for doing it right as usual. I feel like it's hard for Founders to miss right now. They're kind of on a roll.
I honestly don't drink a lot of their stuff, so
I can't remember having a Founders beer that I was like, ew, no. It's just good beer.
It's guten. Sehr guten.
You know what's good?
Beer. You like beer.
It's generally as a category of things to put in your mouth. Crayons, not so much. Beer, yes.
Let's not.
Play-Doh? How do you feel about Play-Doh?
No.
Delicious and salty.
Not my thing.
Chris, I've got something else delicious and salty for you. It's a pretzel. Get your mind out of the gutter, you dirty boy.
Speaking of the gutter, Dan, I see you've been playing a salty game during this past week.
Oh yeah,
Gutter
it is
Dan.
kind of salty because it's called the Sea of Solitude, but it's also salty because it talks about. So I played and finished 2 games, both short. Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the bops. But both of them were kind of. They were a little bit smaller titles. Definitely qualify as more indie game stuff. So Sea of Solitude, developed by Jome Games and is published by EA. It's from 2019.
Not necessarily an indie publisher, but let's roll with it.
Well, but it was developed by Jomai games.
Yeah.
But it was made in Unity. Basically, it's a game about like sort of internal discovery. You kind of are navigating this sea and avoiding monsters that represent like your family and your inner feelings of loneliness and helplessness and kind of stuff. And it's kind of a journey of self-discovery to try and overcome these emotions and kind of like figure out ways to get better at them, as well as being like a puzzle platformer sort of thing, slight adventure game. A lot of it is water based, so you're sailing around stuff. It's called Sea of Solitude and climbing things. So the water is really interesting, really good dynamic and really good like play mechanic that's in it. So really, and then you can also collect stuff like there's seagulls that you can find, and then there's also like it's very stylized. Like whenever
I was gonna say it has a very thoughtful aesthetic and sort of it looks like moving from places of sort of like fear or anger. There's a lot of red, a lot of dark, a lot of like sort of scary bloom, and then you sort of clear that and the blue comes back and sort of everything really
it's very
up.
bright. It goes from bright and colorful to dark and stormy and scary. So it's very it was really good. It was very emotional. I liked it a lot. And then the other one I played, I just started playing last night and then I finished it today. Wow. And it's called The Artful Escape. You would love this game. Chris, you would love this game. Basically, you play the nephew of this like folk song, this like folk artist.
Oh yeah, I was watching a little bit about this.
And and it's kind of this journey of self-discovery as an artist because he really doesn't want to be that. Like he feels put into this hole. And then this isn't really spoilers because it's the game, but then you kind of meet an alien, and then you get these awesome powers. Basically, you can hold down X whenever you're playing this game. You hold down X and you just start shredding on an electric guitar. Like there's music going on in the world all the time. And like you just start shredding these insane solo licks while you're like running around. There's a move that you can do when you jump in the air, you press X and you kind of do this like meow. And then there's like these Simon-esque like sections where you have to copy what like the boss or the character does so that you play riffs with them. It's so good. That's awesome. But it's the reason I love it is one, it feels like this crazy sort of acid trip fueled space odyssey that you go on in the vein of like Ziggy Stardust, where you're trying to find your persona. Like it's trying to come to terms with the fact that you need to be what your artist is, like what you are. And there's like sections where you get to choose like what you have to pick, like what planet you're from or why you're the almighty whatever you are, and then you can pick your like what type of guitar you have. I spent way too long trying to find my outfit aesthetic. It was like a good like 45 minutes of like picking out the stuff and trying to make. I have some screenshots I can share, but man, it was so good. Like I felt myself looking at the worlds that you're in and being just in awe of how beautiful it was, and then two, just like giggling at myself and like laughing and just having a really good time just going through and playing these sick freaking licks every time something would happen.
Yeah, that it looks really compelling. The colors are cool,
and it has like some really big voice actors apparently.
It's huge. Lena Headey's in it.
Jason Schwartzman, Mark Strong, Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers is a huge character in the game.
That's awesome. And it's by Annapurna, which have done so many good games like Journey.
It's just the voice acting is great. The music is fantastic. Go play it. It's only like 3.5 hours of your life.
And I think it's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. Chris doesn't care about that, but if you have Game Pass, like go play it. It's so good. And if you don't, go buy it because it's so good. Like it's just so good.
And they're a good. They're a good.
Yeah, they put out real good stuff.
Company to support.
So I give it 10
stuff.
out of 10.
And different
sick
stuff.
Guitar licks. Yes, yeah, real different. Like,
wow.
That's awesome.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to ask you, do you prefer a Sea of Solitude or a Sea of Thieves?
I prefer the Seven Seas of Rye, actually.
I prefer the Seven Seas of Cheese.
That sounds cool. Chris, what have you been up to?
So I've been, playing a little bit of video games, but a lot of what I've been doing has been more board game or tabletop based, I guess. So I don't know if I remember mentioning this, but I'm starting to DM for my
You mentioned
my
it,
D&D
yeah.
group. Okay, I did mention that. So that's been interesting and taking up a lot of time.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool, and it's a lot more fun than I expected it to be. I was really hesitant always to be a DM, so I don't know. It's nice that it's.
What's fun about it? Like, what's the hook that brings you in?
So it's kind of it's a lot of more of being able to be creative and kind of explore what I want my characters to do or what my PCs to do, but it also makes me kind of think on my toes because all the sometimes some of the stuff I might do might be something they either blast through really quickly or take a really long time with, or they might just not even go to it, like not even do anything with what I've created. So I have to go and it was funny because they started asking questions about one of the characters I created, and on the spot I was like, "Yeah, he's got two brothers."
And you're
so
like,
now
"Oh
I have
shit!
to,
I gotta go write about these two brothers now."
now I got to find out what these two brothers are about.
Got to be careful.
So it's I know, and it's kind of one of those things like you're kind of selling stuff that you don't have, but I don't know. It's fun and creative in a much different way than just being a character is.
Does that unintended sort of like need to be on your toes? Does that make you feel like you want to, like you have to plan more, or does it make you feel like you are getting better at planning less because you have to think on your toes?
Both.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely a both thing. One of the things that I've kind of been bogged down and forgetting, because we're getting to the end of our campaign now. There's a very big rule that everyone should follow, which is the rule of cool. Playing D&D.
That's in all tabletop
games. Basically, if one of your characters does, like player characters wants to just do something just freaking nuts and it works out good, just go with it. Just be like, it's like, hey, can I like go up? I want to like run off this wall and then jump off and then see if I can wrap this chain around it and pull its head off. It's like, oh fuck yeah, dude, do that. Here's the check to do to try and do this thing. If you're looking for someone who's really good at it, listen to or watch Dimension 20, which is like Dropout or like former College Humor stuff. Brennan Lee Mulligan.
Dropout College Humor.
Yeah. But Brennan Lee Mulligan is the DM, and he's amazing at that kind of stuff.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll have to check that out.
What else, Chris?
I also did another Warhammer tournament this weekend. I had to leave early, which kind of sucked. But the first game was kind of interesting because I was playing against someone. It was literally their first game at the point level we were doing.
Okay.
And he was 14 years old.
Oh boy.
So it was really interesting to play against him from someone that's basically at ground level. And I remember being in his shoes.
Playing your first game
almost 17 years ago.
Maybe not understanding quite all of the mechanics, but being excited about it.
Yeah. And it was it was kind of like a weird meta game of like, okay, I want to win, but also I don't want to like destroy this person's hopes and dreams.
So did you try to like not completely like overwhelm him? Like what was the strategy there?
Yeah. So like I was kind of playing more straightforward and not doing like a ton of re-rolling, or you can do different things to make yourself have re-rolls and things called stratagems that make it so you can do certain things at certain times. So I wasn't really doing any of those.
Got it.
Just because that would have just made me steamroll him. So and it was one of those things that I was helping him along with some rules and kind of that sort of thing. But I mean, to be fair, he did know a good amount already, which was impressive. So, I think he had fun, and I looked back and saw the scores later, and it looked like he did win his last game against. I think the tournament runner played against him, and I guess helped him out a little bit.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, so I hope he had a good day, and it was really cool. And it also made me think about my nephew and thinking about like what when am I going to suck him into it?
Well, that's cool.
It was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
One of us. One of us. The claw. Okay. What else, Chris? Anything fun?
I mean, no, that other stuff.
Other than all those things that were seem so horrible.
Yeah, I've been playing more 7 Days to Die with my friends Tyler and Will, and that's been a lot of fun. So each 7 days you get a big zombie horde, and we've been slowly adapting our way of dealing with that. And this right before this episode, our method was just opening the door to our base and just standing there with guns and just blasting them as they came down.
Solid method.
Yeah, we're pretty strong right now in the game, so that's fun too.
Well, cool. I have been dipping my toes slowly back into MTG Arena on PC, which has been awesome. I can't remember why I left in the first place. I feel so silly about it. The reward system for that game, whether or not you buy the battle pass, seems really maybe generous isn't the right term, but like fair. Yeah. And also, after not playing the game for a time and then coming back, like I can see where they've actually made a lot of improvements with the UI. It's a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
The way that like turns interact and card abilities are activated. Like there's so much bonkers shit going on all the time with Magic that it's like the way they've managed to clarify that is really impressive. And you can see where they're definitely like digging into, I don't want to say obscura, but like a more varied rule system. Whereas something like Hearthstone is really just digging into like style and like playability. Not to say that like design wise one is necessarily better than the other, but that's the way that Magic is going or has gone.
It's really interesting to me what decks are super tedious in real life versus some of those decks might not be super tedious in real life, and they're super tedious in MTG Arena, and vice versa.
Right.
Like I have like Dan and I played a couple weeks ago, and I have a life gain deck that would just be the most annoying thing in real life.
Right. It is. Like, I've played against it.
And in the game, it's annoying to play against, but like for me to keep track of, it's not too bad. So it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah, whenever the one guy was playing against had his life total was up to 87. It's like, okay, man,
that's annoying.
All right,
yeah. So I leaned into like a mono white tokens plus buffs deck just to like get something going.
Seems about right.
But I also Dan's like so bored by this.
Mono white, all you mono white people.
I've always been a white player. I play white and I play red.
I mean, you probably forever will.
Honestly, probably. Oh, what else was I gonna say about Magic? I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. Oh, and after being away from a while, they have all these codes. So I had like 30 packs to open when I got back. I was like, this is great. Nice.
And then like every day you can just get a whole new pack if you just keep playing.
Yeah, it's really, it seems fair. It seems good. I appreciate the way they're doing that. So good for them. I've also been playing a lot of Fortnite. The season just ended, which is why we had Fortnite season characters as our names, or Fortnite characters as our names in general. Looking forward to season 8. Season 7 was fun. More innovation, please. Keep the goofy shit going.
Yeah, we got 9 hours.
What makes you excited about the new season? Like what changes do they generally do?
The thing about Fortnite is you don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea what they're gonna do.
And that's to some degree, I think that's also like the special sauce for Fortnite, the Battle Royale, is like you pop into a game and you're like, okay, this is different this week. I wonder why. You're kind of like always discovering new mechanics in the game. Whereas in like Warzone or Battlegrounds, something that's a more established Battle Royale, you're really just like refining your play style. You're refining what things you're using, like your strategy, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. In Fortnite, you can do that if you want. That's also there. But for me, it's much more about like what's new right now. I don't know, like do cars have balloons now and they can just float around? Great, let's do that. Like,
or it's like it was this season was aliens, so now it's like are the aliens going to be gone and is something different now, or who knows?
Nobody knows. So we'll find out at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Just kidding. I'm not getting up for that. What else have I been doing? Genshin Impact, which I've talked about a little bit. Not quite as rewarding, but a good, go knock out some quests. It's like playing an MMO, but by yourself. So that's what I've been up to. That's a good slate. We've been busy this week. Good work, boys.
Yeah.
Lots of variety.
Yes. Yeah. Plenty of something for everyone.
Tabletop.
Yeah, but like, what else have we been playing?
What? Well, that's a great question, Chris, because the other thing that we've been playing this week in honor of Oktoberfest is great games by great German developers. Sie sind toll. So I don't know. How do you all want to do this? I feel like I was just
that's
talking.
what the DM asks whenever you want to kill the boss character.
How do you want to do this?
Let's just start listing companies.
So what have you really been playing this week?
Really though, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So I guess we should talk about like what we're talking about. German
developers,
German game developers.
Yeah,
because there's like.
And we were, when we talked about this originally, like during our planning meeting, we have planning meetings because this is all planned out. Everything I say, we actually write down.
He's reading it off of a script right now. In fact, what I'm reading right now is on a script. Me referencing the script.
Dan, that was my line.
Oh, sorry.
But when we talked about it during the meeting, we realized that when we looked at some German developers, there's a lot of great games that we play. I didn't realize they were from German developers. Right. And so we kind of thought it would be good to kind of highlight that. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. And it's always interesting to sort of like put developers geographically where they are and think about how that influences what kind of games they're making and what style, and if maybe not, who knows. So Chris, tell us about what you've been playing.
Sure. So I've been playing a game called Iron Harvest. I think I might have mentioned this previously as a game that I picked up.
Shouldn't I just call that like iron mining?
But it's different, actually. So Iron Harvest is a term that's been used in, I think, France and Germany after World War I and World War II. Farmers will still find unexploded munitions from World War I and World War II while they're plowing fields. Yikes. And so it's the Iron Harvest.
Wow, that goes a place.
Yeah. But anyway, so I actually saw this game at PAX East right before COVID happened, and I played it a little bit there. And it really intrigued me because it's an RTS, which there's not a lot of RTSs coming out anymore.
Right.
And it's in the vein of Company of Heroes, so it's squad-based. There's cover and there's, kind of a rock, paper, scissors going on with a lot of it, similar to Company of Heroes. So I was pretty excited to try it, and there was a lot of things I really liked about it and a lot of things I didn't.
Okay.
It definitely felt less polished than Company of Heroes, which I guess makes sense because it's a much smaller developer. And actually, this is their first RTS and their first non-point-and-click game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So much different than what they're used to. The company's called King Art Games.
And this is the developer, not the publisher.
Correct, yeah. So the publisher, I think, was Deep Silver.
That's correct, yeah.
Which also publishes a lot of video games from developers in that area. But yeah, I mean, I think I actually played Company of Heroes 2 to kind of compare it a little bit, and it does a lot of cool things. I think the coolest thing it does is the setting and kind of just bringing a fresh set of eyes and having basically a different backdrop to it instead of just being World War II.
Right.
The premise of this game is that it's post-World War I and there are mechs. So there's big stompy robots that can do different things. There's a little bit of rock, paper, scissors versus like troops on the ground and different weapon types and stuff. Talk me through that
rock, paper, scissors. So ground troops are good at blank versus mechs, which are good at blank.
Sure. So ground troops are the only troops or the only units that can capture objectives. Sometimes you can have a mech that might be able to do it, but it has to like do something else to do it. Like go into a different mode basically. And they can carry different weapons and some of them can do damage to mechs, but generally they're not going to do as well against mechs as other mechs are. But there are different types of mechs, like heavy mechs, light mechs. Some are good against troops, some are good against other mechs, some are good against buildings. So you kind of have to have a variety of things to be able to survive against different threats at any different time.
Got it.
And I found that a lot of the polish had to do, the lack of polish, I guess, had to do with pathing. So sometimes you were telling a unit to go somewhere and they wouldn't go that way, or they would get stuck. So that was kind of frustrating. But I think the main thing that it had really going for it was the setting, just because that was such a. I don't know if it's unique, but it's something I haven't seen a lot of. So I definitely appreciated it, and big stompy mechs are fun.
It's interesting. It reminds me of the like Scythe, the board game Scythe.
I said that whenever
Very
he was
much
playing it, and I was just like, oh yeah, isn't that kind of like that game Scythe? That's
right, which the internet tells me is based on an alternate 1920s conceived by Polish artist Jakub Ruszalski.
Jakub Ruszalski.
Which is interesting, and it's very like it feels very grounded in the real world, but then at the same time there's like sci-fi stuff that just kind of pokes up in a very sort of integrated kind of way. Chris, is this like all? Is it all pausable? Like, is there a timer that you can pause, or it just runs?
It's not pausable unless you hit escape, like you're going to the menu.
Okay.
But yeah, so I kind of wish it was pausable, because I'm so used to playing Total War games where your fights are pausable. Yeah, right. So I was finding myself getting back into that like clicks per minute feel of playing like StarCraft.
Was that rewarding in a way, because it's like you said, it's different from what you're used to?
Yes and no. Part of me just wishes I was like, man, I really want to just be able to pause it so I can tell people to do things and then unpause it. They go do them. But also, like, I actually was thinking that exact thought when I was playing it, and then I kind of made myself rethink and say, okay, well, no, this is a different game. This is more like StarCraft, and I have to think about it more like StarCraft, where I have to do these actions and do that kind of more real time. Like a real-time
almost
strategy.
like it's a real-time strategy game. That's amazing.
Almost like it. Yeah, that's really cool, and it's also cool to hear that that King Art, the company, managed to pull that off as like a first-time sort of switch from genre, and it makes me excited to see what else they do. This game came out in 2018. Is that right?
I don't think it's that old, is it?
Survey says. Oh, okay, 2020. Excuse me. Came out in
so I think because I thought I saw the preview of it at PAX.
Yeah, so 2020.
And apparently they're doing seasons of things so like they're trying to like still support it, I guess. I've heard it's a lot better as far as AI was compared to where it started. So it seems like they're supporting it, and it's pretty cool. And like, yeah, I'm excited. I hope they do another one. Because I'm sure they'll just build off this and do better.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Very cool. And where do you know where in Germany they're from?
They're located in Bremen, Germany.
Bremen,
Germany, which is North Germany. It's kind of southwest of Hamburg.
And home of the Bremenstadt musicians.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, not too far from the Netherlands or Denmark. It's kind of in that little area there.
Very cool.
Hey,
very cool.
You guys know Far Cry, the game?
Yeah.
Far Cry.
Yeah.
Did you know that Crytek is a German developer?
What?
That thing is, I didn't know until we started talking about this, and I was just like, oh my god, seriously? Because
well, that's why it was so efficient.
It must be why the CryEngine was so efficient and crashed so many computers. Is because they're from Frankfurt. It's based in Frankfurt, and it was founded in Coburg, which is like up in the Bavaria area, which is kind of interesting. I played a little bit because you would know them, listener. They started
dear listener,
from like the Far Cry series, which they helped develop with like Ubisoft and then EA or Electronic Arts, excuse me. And then they
wait, EA? They did Far Cry with Ubisoft.
No, and Electronic Arts did Crysis and Crysis 2. Yeah.
I see.
And then they worked, and then Crysis 3 also. And then they're kind of working on their own to do like the remastered version, or I think the remastered version already came out, but that is. But also one of the games that I played was Hunt Showdown that they did.
This is interesting. Yeah, go ahead. I'm really excited about this because this was a game that I was paying attention to and then sort of fell off my map. And I want to know where it's at.
I mean, it's still going. Like, they still like release stuff for it. There's like, I don't know if they have seasons per se, but they release new things for it. I played it a little bit. I need friends to play it with though, because it is, to use a term that game players use, it's very sweaty.
It's very sweaty.
It's very sweaty.
What is
like,
that
Dan,
mean?
I get sweaty around you.
It's really like it's
I'm sweaty all the time.
If you
That's
haven't
my secret.
if you haven't heard of Hunt Showdown, basically it's like it takes, you're kind of like these hunters that have sort of a like 1920s to 40s aesthetic.
Like a Van Helsing aesthetic?
Yeah, kind of like that. But it's basically PvE/PvP. So you and two other teams are going out trying to complete bounties by killing these big, like these big scary monsters. But you're trying to either do it before, you're trying to do as many contracts as you can before the other teams get those contracts, or you could die by fighting the other teams too. So it's like,
so you can just go ahead and hunt your buddies, not buddies.
You can hunt other teams if you want to, but it's also like very dangerous. And like everything in the game is like, it will kill you. Like you have to kind of be a little bit careful around stuff. So it's really hard. There is no like precise aiming because it's Van Helsing sort of stuff. So the aiming isn't great, but it's really hard. I've tried playing it by myself many times and it's not easy just to jump into.
It's not about, is there a narrative aspect to this at all?
I mean, the boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. I mean, not really. Just your bounty hunters. Like you are ethereal bounty hunters. Yeah. Do research.
So it seems like this like genre is becoming a thing. I know that there was like a pretty big game that came out for a little while called Hood Outlaws and something or other.
Yeah.
Which apparently kind of got thrown into the ground, but like the idea of it is kind of interesting and I kind of enjoy it.
The idea of it is really cool. I feel like these games tend to be a bit like they're a little flash in the pan, right? Like they open, they get like critical success for one reason or another, and then people kind of put them down.
Yeah, it was.
What do you think that's about, Dan?
I mean, I think it's about. I think with this one, it's that the barrier to entry is kind of tough, like because it is hard, and it's kind of like Dead by Daylight. If you play it by yourself, it's not as fun as if you have like a full squad of people to play it with, and like strategize with.
How big is the squad?
I think it's 3 people is what you can have. Yeah,
3 people. Also, it sucks that there's so many DLCs for it.
There are,
even on sale, it's $140.
Yeah, there's a lot of DLCs for it.
Everything.
Now. Like it's one of those things that just kind of keep releasing stuff for because there's a lot of people out there. It's kind of like. I think it had. I would, if you've ever seen people play Escape from Tarkov, even though that game isn't like technically released yet, it has like a similar feel to it where it's like it's really difficult. So not everyone plays it. Like you don't hear people talk about Escape from Tarkov as much as they do about like Call of Duty, the Warzone or Fortnite or any of that kind of stuff.
Right.
And actually, this seems to be another thing that I just thought of. There's a lot of like really like niche
Yep.
niche games where they have like a really strong following.
Yeah.
And so basically that group will continue to buy any DLC they'll put out. And so it doesn't matter, you know, if it's the most acclaimed game of all time, but if they can keep the gravy train rolling with that group, then they'll keep doing it. So it's I mean, like it seems like this is like that Hearts of Iron or like all of the Paradox games are like that. Total War's like
Vermintide.
that. Vermintide's like so it's like they capture that small group and then they just keep pumping DLCs that are like generally for the most part worthwhile. Sometimes they're not, but
I think it's that they also like cater, like once they have that niche group, they really cater to them too. They just kind of they like say it's like, oh yeah, they want this. Well, let's do that, or let's try something like that and see if it works. And like if it does, like I think with Dead by Daylight, they keep releasing like new monster, like the Resident Evil monsters are in it now. Or like Mr. X is one of the bad guys. There's also
nice.
There's also like the cool. Pyramid Head from Silent Hill is one of the guys you
get.
That's because awesome. It's like that's their base. Cool. Like the people who like the horror games, like Dead by Daylight, and so it's a really easy thing to do. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Crytek.
Also, Crytek did Rise Son of Rome.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Before we head over to Rise Son of Rome, and I don't know if we're going to do that, but Dan, is there like one of the things about Crytek obviously was that the engine was really visually appealing? Does this carry through with Hunt Showdown?
Yeah, it's pretty in like the dirtiest way possible. Like, I mean,
tell me more about that. Like
well, it's just because it's like it's dirty and grimy. Like it's kind of the cryptid sort of scary things that make sense in a Western style. Like where you see a giant, like there's a giant scary spider monster that's running around a tiny warehouse chasing after you. And you can see like the weird hair that's sticking off of it. It's got sort of a person face and it's like really disgusting looking. And then you're also running through like fields that are like fetid and there's like dead cows and stuff all over the place. So it's really like, it's really gross, but in the best looking way possible.
It sounds like they built a really compelling atmosphere.
It fits the game style that it is. Like everything makes you nervous the whole time.
That's cool. How like if go ahead, Chris.
I was going to ask, does it also make your computer scream for mercy?
It really does.
Really?
It takes a really long time to download updates for that game whenever it has to update. Like it's not installed on my computer right now because I was like, it's taking way too long for Steam to update things. I'm just going to leave that one off for right now.
Oh my gosh. That's interesting. What I was going to ask is, what do you think they could do to reach out more people, or are they even interested in it?
I don't think they'd be interested in it anymore. I mean, this game came out in 2019. I don't really think they're looking to make it be a giant. It's not a blockbuster. It's a game that a certain group of people will like, and they'll just keep playing it. You know.
Okay.
And if you guys play it with me, then we'll just keep doing it. You know?
Then we'll be able to play more of it.
Yes.
I played a game called The Surge 2, which is by a developer named Deck 13, and they are out of Frankfurt, Germany, founded in 2001. And I also did like a little digging into their back catalog, and like the things that they've done in the past weren't really like Lords of the Fallen or The Surge until Lords of the Fallen, and that's kind of where like they landed. It was a big release. And looking back at their other stuff, like I think what they did well was understand what they could do and build games to fit that. So The Surge got pretty good reviews. The Surge 2, I feel like, got very good reviews. I don't know too much about Lords of the Fallen.
I've played a little bit of it. I mean, it's even more Souls-like than The Surge is.
Right. And the thing that I like about The Surge 2, at least, and I haven't played too much of The Surge, but the thing I like about The Surge 2 is that it is like Dark Souls in that you could kill something in a couple of hits or die from something in a couple of hits. It's very
not super forgiving.
It's very risk oriented.
It's not. There's no squish there. There's
no squish there. But the combat, I don't play The Surge 2 like I play Dark Souls, and I appreciate that. The combat's not focused on like dodge rolling only, and really it kind of disincentivizes rolling and asks you to block in a more interesting way. And I wonder how much of that may have driven some of the development of Sekiro, because I think one of the most compelling things about The Surge 2 is the directional parry system. I did,
but I don't think that Sekiro fits in that vein. It's what was the For Honor is a little bit more like that.
Yeah, maybe that's a better
but
comparison.
I think, because you have to block things coming from certain directions. And from what I remember, in the Surge, the first one, in the first Surge game, the big thing was targeting
damaging,
parts.
targeting and damaging limbs.
Yeah. So you like, if you need armor and you see someone who has it, and you're like, ooh, that looks cool, or I don't have that. And you run over that person and like do a certain set of, you target that specific arm and you break it until it drops the thing. And that's how you upgrade your armor, which is just a really cool idea in the first place. And super fun because every character that you're fighting against is also like, its own vending machine of gear, and you can only press one set of buttons. It's good.
It's good. What do you think? How far have you gotten into 2?
I'm not super far. I'm only 6 hours in, so I beat the first boss. I did a lot of wandering around in the city. I beat the like little mini boss guy after the first boss, but I'm looking forward to digging into it. The story's not grabbing me a whole lot. But the moment to moment gameplay is really good. I think if I had a worry for this game, it's that it's going to suffer from like Code Vein syndrome, where you kind of like, they show you everything they've got in maybe the first, 10 to 12 hours. And then after that, it's just kind of like characters with different skins, weapons with different skins. There's not really a whole lot of innovation, but maybe I'm wrong.
The thing I think about with that game is that is very Code Vein like is the grindiness sort of part of it, which you've probably experienced a little bit of.
A little bit, yeah. It was very clear when I went into a new area that like, you are a fluff and you need to go get chonkier before you come here, because there was nowhere else to go, but it was literally like one mistake and I was dead. I don't mind the grind.
No, it's good.
I appreciate the grind because the gameplay
I don't mind grind, and like short grinds in games like that aren't bad for me.
Yeah, for that one, it's pretty good. I think it's also, there are some like in the Surge 2, they added a little bit of like funniness to it. They added some humor to it as well. Like some of the enemies are a little bit less dark and silly. There's some places you go to where it's like, oh, the fancy rich people are up here, so you get to see those sort of people too. You'll get there eventually.
Well, I'm excited for that.
Which is funny because you come up with like your like robot arms. It's like, hey, fancy people.
Yeah. Right. I'm designed to move the truck.
I'm that thing that Ridley fought the alien with in Aliens.
Yeah, exactly. The one thing that I will say, and I don't know if this is a positive or negative yet, is that I'm running a counter / big smashy build, and it did not at all work for the first boss, and I had to change up weapons to even like start to approach the first boss.
That feels bad.
Yeah, it didn't feel great. In a game that's a little bit more finely balanced or finely tuned, like a Dark Souls game, you like any weapon you can kind of use against any boss to a degree, especially the first boss, right? It needs to be something generic enough that you can feel successful at it no matter how you want to play.
Yeah.
And that build just did not work at all for the first boss. And I am trash.
Yeah, Ian is terrible at video games. We've said that before, and I'll say it for the rest of time.
The worst, actually.
I think and that gives it kind of, it is a bit still a linear game. Like it still has a line to it. So you'll notice there are some times whenever something you've been using to fight ads is not good against a boss monster. So,
right. Just had to change
so
it up.
Ian, what about the game that they released back in where was it? I literally just saw it and I was like, this is really funny. I'm going to cut this out, so don't worry about it. Damn it. I lost it. Oh, you didn't play Carnival Cruise Lines Tycoon 2005 Island Hopping?
Neither did I. I didn't. Nor did I play Luca und das geheimnisvolle Silberfeld.
Well, Didn't do the right reason.
I don't know. It's Geheimnis follows like happiness filled or like satisfactory, like filled with satisfaction, and Silverfair would be a silver horse, which I guess is like a, what are the things you hit with a stick? Anyway, we got to bring it back.
We're going to bring it back by saying that these are all German game developers and companies and stuff, and beer is from Germany.
And it's delicious.
Yes. Anyway, so those were some of the German games and German developers that we had the chance to play this week. If you've got some great German games that you want to shout out, let us know. We're going to go ahead and take a break, finish these Oktoberfest beers, crack open a couple new ones, and when we come back, I believe there will be compulsory amusement.
See if the Commissioner of Mandatory Funds.
We'll see.
I don't know if I'm going to participate.
We'll find out.
We'll see.
My German brain's not working, but guten Abend und herzlich willkommen nach zurück to the GameBrew podcast, episode 117. It's the Oktoberfest episode. We're drinking Oktoberfest beers. Prost, everybody out there. I hope you're enjoying one at home as well. So we're either switching it up or we're not. I'm gonna stick with my Founders because I think it's delicious. But Dan, it looked like you may have something new.
I switched up to the
globe.
Anger Private Brewery Oktoberfest Martin, authentic Bavarian festival lager. This is definitely a little bit more of a full-bodied Marzen than the Fest beer from Weinstefner was.
Yeah.
Like I can taste the maltiness and like the sweetness on this a lot more than I could on the Weinstefner. The Weinstefner was like more like, this is almost water. This is more like, it's a beer. Like, this is a beer. You're drinking a beer.
Yeah. This is definitely a beer. Yeah. The fact that they have to put, what did they put on it? It's like authentic. Did they put it on the label?
Authentic Bavarian festival lager.
Did you need the word authentic? Can you taste it?
You can taste it. It's brewed according to the Reinheitsgebot purity law of 1516.
Gebot. Mm-hmm. Which we've talked about before.
Yep.
Anger at.
Also
I just love that they have. I love that they're so serious about their beer that they had to put it in law. That beer is.
It has to be this. In 1516, no less, they were just like, it has to be this.
500 years ago, they were like, beer is this,
or it's
it would not be
nothing.
anything else.
It's like trying to get a Neapolitan pizza somewhere, and some Italian guy's just like, it was like, hey, it's not a Neapolitan pizza. You know, it's like there's like very strict rules as to how it can be a perfect Neapolitan pizza.
And it feels better than like the French laws of like champagne is only from this region.
It's like you could still do it. Like it's you could be in America and make a real Neapolitan pizza. You can't actually have champagne unless you live in Champagne.
Can you make a real Oktoberfest beer but not be in Germany? I don't think you can.
You can make an Oktoberfest style beer, but the only beers that are used at Oktoberfest are from the breweries in Munich. There's I think 6 of them.
So those are like official.
Okay, so that is good to know. Chris, are you cracking open something new, or are you still working on your first
3 beers?
So I finished my first 3 beers. So I switched over to what I thought was the Hofbrauhaus Fest beer, but it's the Hofbrauhaus Freising.
Ooh, what?
Freising. Oh, what is a Freising?
Oh, it's
like
it's a
Freising?
City. No, it's a city.
Oh,
Freising.
That's interesting.
It is the capital of the Freising Landkreis district with a population of about 50,000.
It's also the city of cathedrals.
Ooh, interesting.
It's in southeast Germany,
so it's a little north. I think a little north of Munich.
What's the verdict on the beer?
It's good. I think I liked the Weihenstephaner a little better. but still it's got the same characteristics, just doesn't have quite as much flavor on the front. Still it doesn't have a lot of aftertaste or anything like that. It's just very chuggable.
The chuggability, coffee. Rest assured, the chuggability on these is like it's over 9,000.
It's very high. It's very high. All of this, German beer drinking, all of us talking about German games. It's strange to me that we haven't yet heard from our good friend, whose name I don't want to say.
Our favorite Australian friend, the Mandatory Fund Commissioner. I mean, I could see if he's around.
Yeah, exactly. So
you asked about it already.
You don't have to do that, Dan.
Don't do it.
You don't have
do it.
to. I was just bringing it up for okay. Oh, he's going. Sounds like he's not there.
You know what? He's not actually here right now. But I did find another.
No problem.
Hey, yo, guys, it's me. It's your favorite boy, Johnny Two Hammers. How's it going, dudes?
Johnny, I haven't seen you in a
Hey, yo, it's going good. Listen. Happy Oktoberfest to you,
Thanks, Johnny.
You guys,
let me say this. Let me say this right in your dialect.
Yeah, prost, my bro.
Yeah,
prost to my brost. Prost to the host with the most. But yeah, hey, I heard you guys was here doing all this kind of stuff, and I figured, hey, I might come say hi to Dan, see what he's doing here. My favorite brother who stays inside too long. I mean, man, you are very pale. You need to go outside. But anyway, how's it going, dudes? How you doing? You doing all right?
It's good. We're enjoying some Oktoberfest beers. Is it hard for you to brush your teeth with those hammers?
The hammer's unattached to my hands. I just use them to work with. I mean, that's what do you think? I'm some sort of crazy mechanical robot man who cuts off other people's arms?
It's just that you're always holding.
I mean, listen, I know you've been playing the Surge, but come on, man, dude, that's a little weird.
So question for you. When you drink 40s, are you Johnny 240s?
No, I'm Johnny Two Hammers with 40s taped to the hammers.
But when you drink both of them, do you become Johnny Two Hammered?
I've never been Johnny Two Hammered. I've always been Johnny Just Hammered Enough. You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
hit it right on the nail, man.
Yeah, I mean, I do what I do. But hey, listen, I know you guys was probably looking for. I know the Mandatory Fight Commissioner. I did see him before I came over here. He said something like, "I'm very tired. Allison's not there, so what's the point?"
Oh my God!
I mean, listen, we know who's his favorite is. Definitely not this pale piece of crap behind me. But he did give me this piece of paper. I'm gonna read it. It looks like a letter or something. I'm gonna read it to you. He says,
"All right, yeah."
He says, "Hello, my favorite boys." Yeah.
Wait, Dan. What does it smell like? Sorry, Johnny. What does it smell like?
If I had to guess, it's like lavender and Old Spice Pure Sport. I don't know why. Oh no, I had it in my gym bag. That's why. All right. I mean let me read this. Says, "Dearest sexy boys, you are." Oh, that's very insulting. I'm not going to read that part to you, but sorry I couldn't be there. No, I usually come visit during Oktoberfest. There's a bunch of stuff about how sexy Dan is, how sexy Chris is. Ian is okay. But then, here we go. I know I did not. I don't want to leave you. Oh, here we go. I do not want to leave you in a rut. So I left some mandatory fun with Johnny Two Hammers so he can help you out with that. Oh, hey, there's another letter. All right, cool. Oh, hey, it says mandatory fun at the top. Do you guys think you want to do this?
I
mean, this is
usually we just take it or leave it.
It's usually not,
All right, so it looks like this is titled "German Enough for You?" Question mark. All right.
Okay.
It looks like it's a series of questions. Okay. Oh, I get it. All right. So the rules are going to be this. It says it right here. So I'm going to read the German title of a game or game series, and you have to tell me
it's going to crush me.
what that game series is.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, I don't speak German, so I don't know how close I'm going to be on the pronunciations of these guys, but
That's all right. Neither does the commissioner.
I feel like he might be better than me, so we'll see how this goes. So, like, I mean, for instance, all right, this one's probably easy. This one, it says to pronounce it like this. I guess say brew, whatever you want to buzz in, but this one says portal.
Brew.
Yeah, Chris, what is it?
Portal.
All right, boom. Then you get some of, I don't like mandatory fun, whatever that is. So I'm gonna give you one hammer. Here you go.
Oh my god!
How'd you throw that through the screen?
Sorry, Dan. I'm sorry about your monitors, man. They'll be fine. All right. Do you understand the rules of the game?
I think so.
Ich verstehe.
What?
You're just making up words over there. Just keep going.
Okay, something about fish. I don't know. All right.
That's what I heard.
All right. Okay, here we go. Number 1. Oh, God, his handwriting's terrible. Rut der Pflicht Moderne Kriegführung.
Brew.
Yeah, Chris.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah, there you go. That's the point. Boom, that was the right one. That's 1 point for Chris, 0 points for Ian. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Oh boy, this one's gonna be hard. I don't know half of these letters. All right. Schwerer Kraftfahrzeug Diebstahl.
Okay. Brew?
Yeah.
Is it StarCraft?
No, it's not that.
Oh.
Schwerer Kraftfahrzeug Kraftfahrzeug Diebstahl.
I can't understand it.
StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void.
No, it's not.
No,
Boom,
it's
boom,
not.
you're
Hold on.
wrong.
Do the one word. Do the first word one more time.
Schwerer.
Schwere. Schwere is like striking or like hard. What's the next word?
The next word's very long. It's a Kraftfahrzeug Diebstahl.
Something about like Starmstall. I don't know. It feels like it's like a survival game of some kind.
It's Grand Theft Auto.
Oh my god! Say it one more time.
Schwerer Kraftfahrzeug Diebstahl.
Okay, yeah.
All right, no points for any of you idiots.
What?
It should be Schwerer Kraftfahrzeug Diebstahl.
I don't know what that is.
It's Grand Theft Auto is what it is.
Dan, no one asked you. Bring back Johnny Two Hammers.
Sorry, sorry, Johnny. Go ahead. Man, I don't speak German. I don't know. Listen. I speak Brooklyn. That's about as close as I go. All right, here we go. Number 3. Liga der Legenden.
Brew.
Yeah, Ian.
League of Legends.
Yes, there we go. That's one for you. There, 1-1.
Ka-ching.
1-1 for you. Next one. Der Letzte von uns.
Brew. The Last of Us.
Yeah, that's true. All right, 2 for Ian, 1 for Chris.
This feels bad.
All right, just Ian, hold off on this one for a second. I think Chris can get this one. Dunkel Seelen.
Think about Dunkel. What does Dunkel mean? You drink beers that are Dunkel.
Dunkel Seelen.
Overwatch?
What?
Overwatch?
No. What?
It's
what's
2
Dunkel?
words. I'll give you a hint. It's 2 words. Dunkel Seelen.
What's the difference between a Dunkel and pills? Don't think too hard.
I'm thinking hard.
I
No,
know.
don't. No, don't think so hard. Yeah, no, seriously, dude. It's pretty.
In terms of their appearance.
Okay, so Dark Souls.
There we go. Boom, point for you. 2-2. All right, here we go. Next
Nailed
one.
it.
Raketen
Oh, it's
Rocket League.
Yeah.
Brew, Rocket
boom.
League.
There we go. Chris got it first. There we go. 3-2. All right.
Did you not know that, Ian, or are you just being nice?
You buzzed in on that one before I could.
All right, here's the next one. Horizontal Morgan Damarung.
Oh, it's brew. It's Horizon Zero Dawn.
There we go. That's another one.
Wait. Damarung. That's interesting. Okay.
I mean, Hammer Damarung is, I guess, Morgan Damarung.
Hammer or Damarung is awesome. That's a great.
What would that mean by him? Listen, I'm Johnny Two Hammers. I don't know what it is. All right. Here's the next. It's 3-3. The Die Legendi van Zelda.
Brew.
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, that's one. Here we go. All right. Very nice. 4-3. Here we go. Next one. Oh, God. All right. Rotor Tot Erlosung. Oh, God. The crickets.
Rotor Tot?
Rotor Tot Erlosung.
I feel like Erlosung should be the giveaway, but Erlosung is like, I'm trying to remember.
Oh, why'd you go to college or something, man? Friggin' college boy over here.
I want to say it's like when you lose something. Erlosung. Maybe not though.
Sure. From what I can tell from the translation I can read on this piece of paper I'm holding in my hand, you're not right.
I'm not close.
You're not close.
Okay, give it to us.
Chris, do you want to guess?
Say it one more time.
It's 3 words. Rotor, Tot, Erlosong.
Got nothing.
Nothing? It says here Red Dead Redemption.
Those games from that company are hard to do, apparently.
What?
Oh, the Rockstar games don't translate to German particularly.
They don't. No, they don't. I can tell you for a fact.
Those games from that company, you know.
All right, this one. He says. Wait, what's the score right now? I think it's
5-3.
I think it's 4-3. I think 4-3. All right. He says this one is a badly translated one, but bergwerk, handwork.
Handwork. Bergwerk, Handwerk.
Oh, he says, wait, to say it real fast so they're both basically the same word. Bergwerk, handwork. No? Hold on, there's a clue here. It says there's blocks. I don't know what that means.
Minecraft?
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
Bergwerk, Handwerk. Oh, wow, okay.
I don't understand why that's funny. I don't know why you're laughing, but I'm guessing Bergwerk is mine and Handwerk is craft, and you just stick them together.
Well, they're both like craft, so Bergwerk, I guess, yes, mine, craft. It's a very literal translation. It's good.
All right, cool. All right, so that's 5-3. Chris, you got some time to wake up. You know what, Chris? This one's just for you. This one's just for you.
No, I think it's 4-4. It's 4-4.
Oh, no, maybe. Why not? I'll take your word for it. All right. Here we go. Chris, this one's for you. Got des Kragus.
Say it one more time.
Got des Kragus.
Des Kragus.
God of War?
Yeah, baby. 5-4. Here we go. Last one. All right. Unter uns.
Brew?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You can't buzz in and not have an answer, dude.
Underneath
Undertale.
us? Under us?
Undertale.
Oh,
No.
is it Undertale?
No, it's neither of those.
But Unter uns is literally underneath us.
I know, but that's not what it is.
Well,
Hey, on this piece of paper, it says Among Us.
Among Us. Damn it. Okay. My
So I
German's
guess
not
it's like
very good.
But I mean, that's all the ones I have. So I guess that means Chris wins. So way to go, Chris.
I don't
done,
feel like I
Chris.
won.
I feel like you won. I'm proud of you.
Listen, if you could understand even a little bit of my German or whatever this is, and I mean, I think it's good. We did a good job.
I think we all won. I think we all
did. You know, I'm going to chug these 8 beers I have just out of celebration to you guys.
That was fabulous.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was going to sign off.
I mean, that's a good idea. Dan, do you want to come back? Hold on. Yeah, suck it. He's not coming back. I'm going to be here for the rest of the day.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, what else are we talking about?
I think that's it. We're just drinking beer now.
Serious? Oh,
that's
well,
why
hey,
you're
I like
here.
that. I'll do that every day.
If you at home are drinking beers and you want to chime in, you can find us on bit.ly/DiscoBrew. That's our Discord, as well as on all the social medias. Definitely enjoy those Oktoberfest beers. Let us know how much you're enjoying them, and we'll talk to you next time. Say Gute Nacht.
Gute Nacht.
I'm just going to say goodbye. I don't understand any of that stuff. You guys want to get hammered? You want to get too hammered?
Let's get
I would love to get
hammered.
too hammered.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
We could have like a fucking radio show about video games, and it would be.
I mean, we basically do.
But like where people would talk to us about stuff, and we could like talk about all the different stuff. Like Chris knows all the technical stuff. Ian has good questions. I'm here as the token sexy guy, and you know,
Token sexy voice.
No, I mean, like
Dan, I just want you to know that we value you for more than just your assets,
sexy
you
voice
know,
and
for more than your sexy voice.
You know what? It's okay. I've accepted the fact that I'm pretty, and that's why people keep me around.
If we exploit your voice, is that like, does it make you feel like the rest of you doesn't matter? Like we're not seeing you as a full person. We're just here gasming you're speaking all the time.
Objectify me, baby. Do it. Put me in that box.